everyone, it's Bree. A few years ago I made a video about how to sew your t-shirt to fit you, and a few people commented saying that they weren't sure how to use a sewing machine. So today I'm going to show you how to use a sewing machine. Super basic, I'm not a pro whatsoever, but I hope it helps. So let's get started. First of all, you're going to need a sewing machine. This is a really cheap sewing machine. It's super simple, hence the name Simple. So when you get your sewing machine and you open it up, there's going to be a few things in there for you. I got this a few years ago, so I'm not totally sure what it came with or what maybe isn't here anymore, but you'll get the sewing machine, the foot pedal, turn this on the ground. There is a little accessories drawer right here in the sewing machine. You can slide it out. I think almost all sewing machines have this, and open it up. Comes with a few things like some extra needles for the sewing machine. Some of these are better for different types of fabrics. Different plates that attach to the sewing machine, which I'll show you later. A couple of bobbins for your bottom thread of the sewing machine. A seam ripper, which is super helpful. And some other stuff that I've never used, and so I'm not going to tell you because I don't know how. Let's look at the machine itself. This is where you will plug the foot pedal in, as well as the power. They're usually in the same cord. The power switch, and this moves the needle, basically. This dial down here will be different stitch settings. I'm not totally sure about a lot of these. If you want to try them out, I would suggest taking a spare piece of fabric or a piece of paper. You can see a few stitches that I tried out. This dial adjusts the length of your stitches. That's something else you can play around with when you are practicing. This little button here, it's not in the same part on every sewing machine. It is a reverse button. You have some dials up here on the sewing machine. There's a dial for tension, the width of your stitch. So this is where the magic happens in the sewing machine. This is a presser foot. This holds your fabric down. This little plate right here has a few guides, so if you needed to line something up, there's a couple of them there. This is something that can get changed out. I've never done it before. Got your needle. I'm going to show you how to thread the sewing machine. Depending on your sewing machine, there's going to be a little stick up here. It just comes up enough to stick your spool of thread on there. Then it has this little cap to hold it in place. Before we set up the thread to go through the entire machine, let's put thread on a bobbin. The bobbin is a little spool of thread that goes in the bottom of the machine, and that will not come in the store like one of these. You have to do that. This is a bobbin. Sometimes they're metal. This is just a cheap little plastic one. So the thread up here, with the cap on, you're going to take the string and loop it around this loop right here. Then you're going to take your bobbin and you're going to put the thread through one of these holes. Pretty easy. There's a notch right there that's going to line up with the notch on the sewing machine. You're going to take your bobbin with the string up top and line up the notch of the bobbin with the little metal part of this rod. It'll click down, and then you push it over and it'll click again. Once it's pushed in, you can press your foot on the pedal and it'll spin this bobbin around, pulling the thread, and it'll just keep going. Most machines will stop spinning once the bobbin is full. I would recommend keeping your piece of thread on top here relatively short so it doesn't get caught when this starts to spin. Press the pedal and start getting some thread on here. Now, because my sewing machine is simple, it has numbers telling me the order to do things to thread it. Hopefully you can see this well enough, but you're going to take your thread and hold on to it so you don't keep pulling it. The first step is to go around this guy. It'll lock into place. Then you're going to go down this crack of the sewing machine and lift back up. It's now inside this lid area. Then you're going to hook it around this metal piece right here. If you don't see this, it's because it's in the machine. you need to turn the knob on the side of the machine up so that it's there. Hook it around that, pull it this way, and go down. Now it's hooked in there. Then you're going to go back down. Take your thread and hook it in this little piece of metal here. Just go over the top of it and then down. Then put your thread through the needle hole and pull it through. Make sure not to make any weird loops or anything so this doesn't get knotted. This thread needs to go through the two parts of this and then go all the way back. So with my accessory drawer removed, you can push this little door down. Now this part right here, this little guy, may have already been in here, or it may have been in your accessories bag. And this is where the bottom bobbin is going to go. If it's already in your machine, then you're going to pull this lever. That will help you release it and pull it out. To put the thread on this, hold it like so. Take your bobbin with the string facing that way and put it in. There's a little ridge right here, and that's where you're going to slide your thread into that and then pull it up through that metal flap until it clicks and it comes out of this metal flap. And while holding the bobbin in there still, pull open this lever and guide it in there and close the lever again. So to get this thread up there, hold on to the top thread while you slowly turn the knob on the side. Keep turning it until it comes all the way up and give your back thread a little pull. It should have looped the top thread with the thread in the bottom. You can take anything and slide it through to pull that bottom thread out. And now they're both up here. If it doesn't work, give it a couple tries. Close it up. Put the drawer back on for extra space. So now it is time to sew. I am going to be sewing this shirt according to my t-shirt surgery video, which you can view by clicking the link. Your needle, your settings, all that depends on the kind of fabric. And I'm not very smart about that. I just kind of mess around with things until they work. So I would suggest not cutting anything or doing anything extreme until you know that what you did is right. Now to the easiest part of sewing, which is actually sewing. Setting up the machine is the hardest part. You're going to take your fabric and place it under the foot and line it up either with whatever marks you have or with the plate here. There's a lever in back and you just pull it down and it'll lock this in place for the most part. Step on the pedal. You can gradually start it if you're nervous. Do a few stitches. What I like to do to secure things is reverse over the beginning of my stitch. So hold down that lever, reverse a few stitches, and then start back up again. Always check that you are actually making a stitch. Sometimes the thread will run out on the bottom and you won't know until you have finished, and then you have to go do it again. When you get to the end, I would recommend doubling back again like you did at the beginning by holding down the reverse and sewing backwards and forwards again. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. As I said before, I am not a pro at sewing. I don't know everything about this, but at least I know the basic things. Now that you know how to use the machine, go and check out the t-shirt surgery video. And thanks for watching. Nala says thank you too. Yeah. Now it's time to sew. Now it's time to sew. Now it's time to sew.